Alright Reddit, what is your spookiest or most unexplainable event that has ever happened to you? Serious. When I was 7, my family made a quick road trip to visit my grandma who was in hospice. We got back home late at night and my sister and I saw our grandma sitting in the rocking chair in our room. The rocking chair that had belonged to her husband. Our mom walked in and told us that grandma had died and we were gonna drive back in the morning. My sister and I didn't mention it for years, but we both are absolutely certain grandma stopped by to say goodbye. Do you believe in right person, wrong time? And why? I guess it depends on how many right people there can be. Just one? Absolutely not. If right means anyone who you are mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually compatible with, then absolutely. Certain people are right for you at different times in your life. It's more like right person. Right now, people change and grow, especially when we are young. I've had relationships that were long and meaningful in the past that worked at that time. I can say with certainty though, that none of them were who I would want to be with today. They were perfect for then. But we changed and became less compatible. Food servers of Reddit, do you appreciate when we stack our plates at the end of the meal for you? Or does that actually make things more difficult? Stacking is helpful. But for the love of God, don't shove your garbage into the glasses and bowls. Someone has to fish that out. If you want to be helpful, leave your dirty napkins and trash in a pile on the table. Used to bus tables. Yes, it's definitely appreciated, but you occasionally got the nice surprise of someone squishing food in between plates and then it squirting out when you pick them up.
Atheists, did you never believe in God, or what made you switch sides? Catholic school. No, never switched sides. My dad taught me to always question authority. Religion failed the test early on. When I was a kid, I guess I believed. Was told it was true, and had to go to church all the time. But, I was always suspicious. I'd ask questions and would get bad answers. X200B me, where'd the Bible come from? Them God talked to some men thousands of years ago and they wrote it down. But he doesn't talk to anyone anymore. Me, so we just have to take their word for it. What if they made it up? Them they didn't. I was raised religious but I never believed in any of it. I always thought it was silly when I was little and all the adults were just pretending, although I could never figure out why.
Former homophobes of Reddit, what made you realize gay people aren't a problem? Became a gay. I made a very good friend at my job. I cared for her a lot. One of the best people I ever met. I didn't know she was gay until about 2 months in. At that point I realized that she was just like me. And what she did behind closed doors with her didn't matter to me at all. She was and still is a wonderful human being. Before social media was around, how did you like to waste your time on the internet? Stealing music off LimeWire. AOL Instant Messenger was the social aspect of the internet when I was young. Anyone not admitting to their Club Penguin addiction is kidding themselves. I remember times before the internet, kids on MSN chatting, Neopets, Sporkle, eBaum's World, and Something Awful. I was very addicted to IMDb. I would often search up the latest movies and shows on that website, and would research what actors played certain characters. This is the reason why everyone in my family now comes to me and asks me who played who, what movies and shows are good, and are looking for something new to watch. Dear Redditors, what is a common belief that just simply isn't true? That those 5 minutes after the alarm goes off are actually going to be 5 minutes. That getting a raise and going to a new tax bracket will cost you money. People don't understand that income rates only apply once that level of income is attained. You shouldn't move baby birds back into their nests if they've fallen or otherwise wandered away, because the mother will smell that they've been touched and reject them. Why do people think this? My parents told me this when I was really small, and even for a while as an adult I believed it. Then, one day I'm reading this article about common animal myths and bam. If you shave your beard it will grow faster. Guys or girls of Reddit, What's a red flag in someone you look at and say nope? There's a saying my mom used to say. I DK where she got it from, but it's if a guy isn't nice to anyone but you. He isn't nice, which means that like, if he's rude to waitstaff, or in general a douche to anyone else, he's still a douche. They are a die-hard fan of Steven Seagal. The type of douche that insults people that says it's only a joke. Yikes. Treating waitstaff and retail clerks disrespectfully. Being lazy or not carrying your own weight or being helpful is a red flag. After a certain point it becomes disrespectful. Wants you to drastically change or give up your hobbies. How do you usually respond to a homeless person asking you for money? If you're from a city, you just block them out. I'm from Vancouver. If I acknowledged every homeless person, I would never get to where I need to go. I smile sheepishly while shaking my head and walking past. I used to just say, sorry, I don't have cash on me. It worked, but they have evolved. The other day a guy approached me at a gas station and asked me for money. I told him I didn't have cash. He said, no worries bro, and then pulled out a phone with a credit card reader attachment. So now I just say, nah, I'm poor. They seem to respect that. What are you starting to like less the older you get? Alcohol. It's getting harder for me to bounce back on Sunday fun days. So much so that I moved them to Saturday. As much as I hate to say it. Video games. Not that I like them less inherently. But it feels like as an adult, I'm entering into a long-term relationship every time I start a new video game that I don't have time for. The pile of shame for unfinished video games is real. The world in general. It feels less and less like it has anything to do with me. More alien and absurd with each passing year. Perhaps that's natural for a creature that is closer to death than birth. People. Alcohol. The government. What are some workplace red flags that scream don't work here? Everyone you meet has been working there less than 2 years and it isn't a startup. The hiring manager who brought you in quit. If all of the other employees look sullen and depressed. If you walk into the office area and feel like you've walked into a funeral service. Nobody's smiling. Nobody's laughing. Nobody looks remotely happy or content. Just turn around and walk back to your car. That is not a good place to be working at. Being hired on the spot. I had a job interview a long time ago where I asked if there was any office dress code. The response I got was, just try not to wear your gang colors all the time. What are some tips for people who just started living alone? Lots of good comments already. So I'll just toss out have a reasonable stockpile of things you might need should you not be able to leave your home for a while, such as getting sick or your car breaks or whatever. So things like spare toilet paper, food to last you a week, etc. Keep a medical box with common medicines, Tylenol, cough drops, etc. and bandages. And regularly check to sure they're not expired. In the same way that you pay your bills, pay your savings account. Learn how to perform the Heimlich on yourself. If you do dishes while you cook, the whole process is a lot smoother. What are some of the most notorious stories from old Reddit that new users should know about? Reddit caught the Boston bomber. They created a subreddit and hunted him down. Only whoops. It wasn't actually the bomber but just some innocent guy. Then that guy committed suicide. The coconut and Doritos, and that was bad. Those are 3 separate items. What are some free online tools everyone should know of? Has a ton of free icons, extremely useful for many projects. Nanite when you set up a new computer. Mainly for anyone studying, interested in, or working in engineering. There are lots of tools, information, downloadable content, etc. Tool will create the Excel formula you need using ML. Just type what you want to do. Excel formula bot. The Wayback Machine on the Internet Archive. Lucidchart and Grammarly. Grammarly has a premium function, but the free version is already very helpful. What are we no longer in the golden age of? Streaming. There was a blissful 10 years where basically everything was on one or two platforms. Now we've more or less reinvented television with the fracturing of media platforms, but on demand, which is still an improvement, but come on. It was so nice for a while there. Comedy movies. Honestly, what's the last blockbuster comedy movie you saw in a packed theater? The old OG App Store games. Now we have false advertisements for the current App Store games. What are you starting to like less and less the older you get? Honestly, video games. I still like them, but I feel like only 110 hold my attention more than a few minutes. Even then, I don't complete many these days. When I was a kid, I would play just about anything, and I would do so for hours on end. The normal life. The fact that I'm expected forced financially to spend more time at work than with my family has really been weighing on me ever since my daughter was born. Social media. It's vapid, boring, and a continuous stream of advertisements now. I remember when it used to be fun. Now I've deleted pretty much all forms of it except Reddit. My knees. What are we living in the golden age of? Seltzer waters. My professor in college always used to say that the 20th century was the golden age of physics. Chemistry because of the splitting of the atom, general relativity, invention of quantum physics, etc. But now, after we've decoded the human genome and started working with CRISPR, we're currently living in the golden age of biology. Genetic engineering is modern-day fire. And there's so much potential with how we can use it. Good and bad. Shitposting? Yoga pants. Loneliness. Disinformation. Information. But we have more ignorance and less quest for knowledge now, it seems. Butter. What is one game, movie, or piece of media that everyone should experience? The Egg by Andy Weir Kurzgesagt in a nutshell did a wonderful animated version of it as well. It's simply a wonderful message that everyone can benefit from. Being kind to others is being kind to yourself. Journey on PlayStation. It's gorgeous and strangely moving, even made me cry once. Since it's Halloween right now, Over the Garden Wall. Hot Fuzz. Just so hilarious. The Princess Bride. Mushrooms, in my opinion, are a form of media. Ghibli movies. The Truman Show. The score from the original Jurassic Park just came to mind. It still sends shivers down my spine. What group cannot be reasoned with? Toddlers. The Borg. Tim. Scientology. They group of indigenous people who have no contact with the outside world, or they kill anyone who tries to contact them. Terminators. I can't believe no one has mentioned it yet. QAnon. Those people are absolutely batshit. Flat earthers. Geese. Everyone who still disagrees with me after I debate them, obviously. People who constantly micromanage. Cats. Zealots. People who talk about politics like it's their favorite sports team. Andrew Tate's fanbase. People who have achieved their goals through wrong methods. What is a good smell? There is a smell, which only happens after a really cold snap of weather. And the first day of the cold snap, early in the morning, it's like this super cold fresh smell. And everything is just super cold and frozen around you. I love it. Fresh baked bread. Freshly baked cinnamon rolls. Butter garlic onion heat. Soil after rain. Nice try. Yankee Candle. Wood fire smoke. Coffee. Can't stand the taste but love the smell. Lilacs on the warm breeze through an open window. Freshly cut hay. That first whiff of ocean you get when it's out of view and you're just starting to approach it. What's the first thing you'd do if you won the lottery? Double check, then triple check, then still believe it was a mistake. Look up the link to this. Lawyer. Pay off any existing debts, mortgages, loans I have. Act like I didn't win. Not tell anyone. Jerk off. I am gonna need some of that post-nut clarity to make the proper decisions. A big sum of money? A financial lawyer. Claim it and book myself a nice hotel room. Sleep and resign from work. What's the fastest way you get rid of your hangover? Just get drunk again. Eating a ramen with the broth always make me feel better. Electrolytes before bed and when you wake up. Pedialyte, coconut water, or salt and lemon, or Gatorade but that has sugar which I don't like. There's great drop-in water electrolyte tablets now too. If you have access to a sauna the next day that helps. Or work out. It's rough but it helps. There's this stuff called Liquid IV. It's basically just electrolyte formula you add to water. Some of the flavors also have caffeine in them. You can get it by the Kool-Aid mix in the grocery store or by the protein shakes at Costco in bulk. Which I recommend because it's not cheap. What's an automatic deal breaker on a first date? Talking about their ex constantly. Won't stay off of their cell phone and also the way they treat servers. Well, about a month ago I made plans to meet up for a date with this girl that I was really getting along with. Then after the plans were made she calls me and says, "Oh yeah, I should probably tell you that I'm engaged and my fiancé will be joining us. But it's alright, we have an open relationship and he's bringing his girlfriend too." Showing barely any interest in me personally. Only talking about themselves and not showing interest when I tell about myself. What's a YouTuber that can be identified by one quote? I scrolled multiple of these and knew like two. Apparently I have had a completely different YouTube experience to most people. I watch quite a bit of YouTube and literally recognize none of these. Does this mean I'm old and out of touch? Will it blend? That is the question. It's the show with hot questions, and even hotter wings. Garbled screams and the sound of eggs smashing. Water your Cermet so he can grow. That's about it. See ya. The sun is a deadly laser. A perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Teehee. I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. What's something you wouldn't even try once? Cave diving. Nope. Heroin. After having morphine a couple times in the hospital, that shit's terrifying. 10 million understand how people get addicted to that shit. Recently fell into a rabbit hole of underwater cave diving accidents. No amount of money could ever convince me to do that. Meth because I'd love it. After listening to some bad trip poisoning reports. Datura edit, don't even think about it. Even if you're an experienced psychonaut, it can kill you. That cheese with the maggots. Anything that involves me not being able to move my body, and tarantulas. Crocodile. Is that still a thing? Murder. It just doesn't sound like my thing. What's some basic knowledge that a scary amount of people don't know? How long it takes a semi-truck to stop. How to merge in traffic. Not to pour water into hot oil. That the scientific meaning of theory isn't what the colloquial sense means. How to tell if food has gone bad. When I worked in a meat department, we got like one call a day from people saying, "I bought this X days ago. Is it still good? Lady, I'm not there with you. This ain't a smellophone. You're going to have to use your own senses and brain on this one." What's something you once strongly believed, and now don't believe at all? As a young child I used to believe I was the subject of an experiment that everyone was in on but me. Like the Truman Show. I used to try and turn my head quickly and catch people out or try and spot a camera. Later as an adult I watched the Truman Show for the first time and the memory came flooding back. That adults have everything figured out and their life is a smooth journey on a fixed path. That I'd be married by now. Turns out you need someone who also believes that for you. That I am special, and destined for great things. That food pyramid we were taught in school for what our diet should consist of. What's the game you've put 1,000 hours in? Old school RuneScape, Destiny 2, Overwatch, Elder Scrolls Online. The Sims Cold Sweat Smile. Civ. Just one more turn. Factorio. Minecraft. Rimworld. RuneScape. Team Fortress 2 with close to 1,600 hours, Skyrim with close to 1,300 hours, RuneScape nearly 1,200 only. Know my playtime on Steam in World of Warcraft easily over 20,000 hours. No idea how to see my total time played. I may need help. Wow. Guild Wars 1, Smash Bros. Melee. Fire Emblem 3 houses Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. World of Warcraft and Fallout 4. What's the most common thing people lie about? Most people lie about their true emotions. How are you? I'm good. I have read the terms and conditions. How much they drink, their mental health, happiness, their height or weight, if they washed their hands. I'm fine. When someone asks how you are doing, most people won't answer honestly. Like me. I usually say I'm good when really it's the complete opposite. How great their life is. Lies to protect others' feelings, experiences, money, not hearing the other person they're listening to. How many times a day can one person be spoken to and respond with huh? Immediately after? Stares at coworkers. How much they make. Who is the best lyricist in hip-hop rap history? It's gotta be the MF Doom. Big L. Aesop Rock not Rocky. GZA. The GZA. Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Nas. Rakim. Vocabulary like no other. It's you poem for your sprog for me. Eminem. Andre 3000. Three-way tie between Nas, Biggie and Slim Shady. All are brilliant in their own way. GZA. Babytron. Super hard question. I love Fife. History is overstating it, but Professor always impresses me with his lyrical creativity. Hi, I'm French and I really like that rap group called I Am. Who is a well-written, strong female character in a movie or TV show? Dana Scully in The X-Files. Ellen Ripley in Alien. Sarah Connor in the films Terminator and Terminator 2. As well as in the television series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. Colonel Samantha Carter, Stargate SG-1. Avasarala from The Expanse. Leela from Futurama. Mona Lisa Vito. Portrayed by Marissa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny. That movie is a masterpiece. And in no small part from her contribution. Most of the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park. Who are the scariest types of people? Friends at work who are the first to go and tell everyone your personal business, along with running their mouth to the bosses about everything behind your back. Act like best friends in person but really try and use the friendship to gain an upper hand at work. Manipulative, narcissistic, gaslighting, sociopathic tendencies. The scariest kind of person would be someone who manipulates and lies like it were normal, because they'll easily get you to do things and make you think it was your idea. People who feel justified in using violence every time they get the least bit annoyed. People who have nothing to lose. Which singer is instantly recognized by their vocal, their lyrics, just their voice? Louis Armstrong. Kermit the Frog. Michael Jackson. Elvis. Johnny Cash. Barry White. Freddie Mercury. Willie Nelson. My starter vocalist is Bjork. Tiny Tim. Ronnie James Dio. Vitas. BLR. Dolly Parton. Janis Joplin. Billie Holiday. Tom Waits. Bob Dylan. David Bowie. Billy Corgan. My ears bleed a little just thinking about it. Lane Staley. Dolores O'Riordan. Oh God, I miss her so damn much. Tina Turner. Stevie Nicks.